All right, welcome to our quick start guide for EV safety. So, if you're a new electric vehicle owner, or maybe you just want to make sure you're doing everything right, you are in the perfect place. We're going to break down all the key habits and the emergency steps that'll protect you and your big investment.
So, you did it. You joined the electric revolution. And look, the quiet ride, that instant acceleration, it's all amazing. But owning an EV, it means learning a whole new set of rules. And this isn't just about how you drive. It's about how you safely manage a really powerful and, frankly, a totally new kind of technology. Okay, let's get right into it. The very first thing to wrap your head around is that an EV, well, it operates on a completely different principle than the gas car you've probably been driving for years. And that changes the safety game entirely.
You know, with the traditional car, you're always thinking about things like fuel, oil, all those mechanical parts. With an EV, the focus shifts completely. The main thing is managing a high-voltage electrical system. It's a fundamental move from combustion to current.
Now, this diagram here shows us exactly how that power flows. Electricity comes in from the charging port, gets stored in that huge lithium-ion battery pack, usually right under the car. From there, an inverter converts the power to drive the electric motor, and boom, that's what turns the wheels. As you can see, everything, and I mean everything, revolves around that battery pack. And that brings us right to the battery itself. Look, it is the most critical, and definitely the most expensive, part of your EV. So understanding how to protect it is really the key to protecting your entire investment.
Most EVs out there use lithium-ion batteries. And you're already familiar with this tech. It's the same stuff that's in your phone and your laptop, just on a much, much bigger and more powerful scale. It's designed to be recharged thousands and thousands of times.
But that giant battery under your car, it's not just one big block. It's actually built in layers, kind of like building blocks. As you can see here, it all starts with thousands of these small individual cells. Those cells get grouped together into what are called modules, and then those modules are all assembled to create the final battery pack that powers your car. So how does this incredibly complex system stay safe? Well, that's the job of something called the Battery Management System, or BMS for short. The easiest way to think of it is as the battery's brain. It's working non-stop to prevent overcharging, manage the temperature, and protect against any electrical problems. And this diagram really shows you how sophisticated that system is. You can see how that central unit, the BMS, is connected to all the different sections of the battery. It's constantly checking things like the temperature and voltage in every single cell group, making all these tiny adjustments to keep everything perfectly balanced. This active management is what keeps it safe and makes it last a long, long time.
Okay, now for the most practical part. Knowing the tech is cool, but what you actually do every day is what really matters. These are the simple, easy habits that are going to define the health of your EV for years to come.
Seriously, if you only remember one thing from this entire explainer, make it this number. This right here is the absolute key to your battery's long-term health. This is what we call the golden rule for EV battery health. For just your regular daily driving, you want to aim to keep your charge between 20 and 80%. So why is that? Well, the chemical reactions inside the battery are most stressed out at the very top and very bottom of the charge. Staying in this happy middle zone minimizes all that stress, which can seriously extend your battery's lifespan. You should only really charge to 100% when you absolutely need that full range for a long road trip. A lot of new owners make the mistake of treating their EV just like their smartphone, plugging it in every single night to get it back to 100%. But the best practice is actually different. You want to stick to that 20 to 80% zone for daily use. Try to park in the shade on really hot days to keep the battery cool, and always use certified charging equipment to avoid any electrical trouble.
And that brings us to charging safety. At home, the absolute best practice is a certified wall charger that's on its own dedicated circuit. That's the best way to avoid any issues. And when you're out using a public station, just take a quick second to look at the cable and the connector for any obvious damage before you plug it into your car.
Okay, let's talk about something that frankly worries a lot of new owners: emergencies. Now, while EV fires are incredibly rare, knowing what to do in a worst-case scenario is absolutely critical.
The specific risk you hear about with EV batteries is something called thermal runaway. Basically, this is when one damaged cell starts to overheat, and that heat triggers a chain reaction with all the cells around it. It's the reason why an EV fire needs a totally different response than a regular gas fire.
So, what causes this? Usually, it's either a really severe impact from a crash or a major electrical fault while charging. I have to say it again, this is extremely rare.
But because it's so serious, it's vital that you know the correct safety steps to take.
If you ever see smoke while your car is charging, the steps are simple and you need to remember them. 1. Stop the charge. Immediately. 2. Get away from the vehicle. Put some distance between you and it. 3. Call for help. And 4. This is so important. Make sure you tell the emergency responders that it is an electric vehicle so they bring the right equipment.
And the same logic applies after an accident. Turn the car off and get to safety. If you see any warning lights on the dash or any signs of smoke or fluid leaks from under the car, do not drive it. Hidden damage can become a huge problem hours or even days later, so you always have to get it inspected by a certified EV tech before you even think about plugging it in again.
So let's bring all this together. All of these habits we've talked about, from your daily charging routine to knowing what to do in an emergency, they're not just about safety. They're about protecting the long-term financial value of your car.
And here's the cool part. The best practices for safety and battery health are the exact same things that protect your resale value. Sticking to that 20 to 80% rule, driving smoothly, avoiding things like deep puddles or big potholes, parking in the shade, it all preserves the battery. And of course, keeping good service records just proves you've taken great care of it.
Ultimately, it all boils down to this. What you do every single day has a direct impact on both the physical health of your EV and its financial worth. These small, smart habits, they pay off big time down the road.
You know, the author of the guide we used as a source, Habtom Araya, he really puts it best. Drive smart, stay safe, enjoy the journey. Because at the end of the day, being informed and being responsible is what lets you fully enjoy everything that's so great about having an EV. So as we close this out, I'm going to leave you with a question to think about. After everything we've just covered, what is the one new habit you're going to start today to protect your EV?